Thank you for tuning in to Trinity Gaia Oracle collective reading for today. I do a reading for the elements, and then I will do clarifiers for each element's channeled message. I use assertive instead of masculine and receptive instead of feminine to remove the triggering of subconscious association with gender, allowing you to see the assertive energy and receptive energy within yourself, those dynamics, and know that those energies are going to be reciprocated or mirrored back to you in your environment, yet again removing the gendering label subconsciously. This allows for our mind to process the information without saying, oh, this is a masculine energy, it must only be applied to men, which subconsciously we're going to want to do. So I work with assertive and receptive energies. I will do a bit of an overall oracle at the end to tie everything together, any additional messages, as well as really emphasize that all these elements are what are present within us, and it's how we create. So it's a snapshot of all the elements at play with where we currently are and how that is present in the co-creation state at the time. All right, what would we have for guidance in Earth? Ooh, we got two. Ooh. Ooh. This kind of plays off of yesterday's reading a bit, because you have that anger, and that anger that stayed with you for so long, and you built and built and built until it became rage, and then it turned into something that you built in that state, and you flipped it. Instead of allowing it to go towards darkness, to be acted out outwardly in rage, you chose to direct it to light. This is now speaking to the profound transformation that you're now going through in this state. Now that you have made this change, you're still dealing with some that are remnants of this anger and this rage, which is understandable. It's been a part of your reality for a long time. Know that this is something that you are actively seeking to change, and because of that, you are creating this change. You are transforming this. You are recreating yourself consciously. There's a willingness to let go of any kind of conflict that really could be keeping you from what you have been longing for, what you have been manifesting. There's a bit of a sense, too, of what you were longing to manifest, to recreate, to reconnect with, isn't quite as you remember it to be. But because this is in the placement of Earth, you're also aware, because you really honed the ability to observe, to collect information and not necessarily outwardly react. You're aware that you're going through a very major change internally, and that means that things may not actually be as they seem outwardly to you, because the filter you're seeing through, assertively seeing through, is not necessarily how things actually are. Because if you're going through this rapid change, whatever is being reflected back to you is also going through rapid change too. So it's an invitation assertively, you're saying, okay, I know that I'm going through a lot, and that things are changing, that I've been in one state for so long, I don't want to be in the state anymore, and I'm transitioning, so the energy that I'm interacting with, I'm choosing to see as in a state of transition too, of transforming, of alchemizing itself, as well as that I am alchemizing myself. This is definitely a co-creation that the divine is present within and supportive of, that there's support amongst the, like, all three aspects of the Trinity here. Also, spending some time staring at the stars might be very healing. Might help you to see into yourself. The whole, as I stare into the abyss stares back into me, might be very helpful in this process of finding peace within this process. You're also receptive to not wanting to be stuck between a rock and a hard place anymore. You want to own what's before you, so you're not going to put yourself in a, well, is it this or is it that? You're rejecting that state. Instead, you know what you want, you're defending what you want, you're focused on what you want, and you know that everything that has happened has been co-created and planned just so, because of the amount of energy that you put into manifesting it. It's just, you're trusting a lot in this, in the divine's will being expressed through your manifestation, and with your focus and energy behind it. You're trusting that where you're going, you're going to recognize once this transformation has really fully taken root, healed. Once you're not in this state of transition, the energy around you will also be more in a state of consistency as much as you are, and will likely become, with what I'm seeing here, you're receptive that it's going to be what you recognize. You're going to recognize it. It's going to be familiar. The element of air. What does the collective need to know? What guidance do we have here? What reflections? What awareness is? To know that you're capable, 100%, having come out and through all of this, you are capable of guarding your peace, of having these clunky, edged, sharp energies come in for you to organize, process, transmute, and not have it stay in you, to have it, to be that channel for this stuff to come into, like you're transmuting for the collective in a way. You're healing a lot of energy for many others on your path. So some of these things, they aren't yours, they belong to others. So you don't hold on to them, but you maybe let go, okay, well, this is what I did here. Or the divine goes, this is the answer here. And you attach it to that, or it's attached to that by divine will. And that's processed back to the others in the collective to be able to heal and get to where they're able to transmute as well for the collective. In this process of manifesting where you are, you have acquired this ability to be able to have that peace, to guard that peace, to sit with what comes in and not attach to it, not emotionally own it as yours. Because whatever was causing this anger and this rage is just no more. You don't have that burden anymore. You're now able to help those that do find the answers, receive the guidance, have the intuitive knowing of what the next step would be. And the divine is guiding through all of that. It's not something that is necessarily going to be a 3D conscious answer. You know, like it's in a book and you're like, first you add this ingredient like you would in a recipe. So assertively in this space, you have found this to be something that has been very heavy. You found it to be where your shadow work was, where you encountered that inner anger and that inner ego and that inner beast that just would overcome you and you'd act out your anger and your rage. You have gone deep into this space and you have transmuted it. You have relieved yourself of this burden. It doesn't feel overwhelming to you anymore. You understand it, you know how to work with it, and you co-create with divine to transmute it. You've looked into your shadow side. You've done that work, and you know what's there, and you've decided what gets to remain and what doesn't, what gets to be transmuted and healed, and what must go. And your inner ego, that inner beast, for the first time, possibly in your life, in this incarnation, that aspect of you is at peace because you've gone deep into this. And this is something that you're able to help others achieve. Such a just profoundly healing and beautiful message for what you know. That's just beautiful. Yeah. Depending on where you are in this, you could already be in a state where you know that things are going to be more consistent, more stable, more at ease, calmer. You know, you're ready to go. You're there. Or this is around the corner, or you maybe just need this little bit of a confirmation to nudge you into accepting that. You could actually legitimately have the inner peace and be moving towards that space where that inner peace won't be rocked by anything outside of you if you don't let it. Because this is something that you've manifested, you've desired, you've probably longed for it, possibly your whole life. I mean, maybe the first time you called for it, you were just a child and you were looking up at the stars, just like it was invited for you to do in the earth placement. And your heart manifested, your heart cried out for other than what you were experiencing. You've been manifesting this probably from long before your first memories. Possibly been working on this for many lifetimes. Actually, it's highly likely. The element of fire, the placement of your will, your desire, your ability to focus and transform and alchemize. There's a very important emphasis placed upon ritual. So it could be magical ritual. It could be, going to church. It could be prayer. It could be you meditate every day for this many minutes at this specific time. You go to bed at this time. You wake up at this time. You eat, so on and so forth. You have routine. Routine is key in this placement. It's going to help you transform everything that you desire to transform by creating so much balance in your daily life that this inner peace will be something that will be very hard to shake. If you were contemplating a move to a new place where you know that you will be able to cultivate this. This is confirmation that this is the place for you to go. If you're contemplating a move and you feel that that move will actually detract from your ability to cultivate this level of routine, this is a confirmation it's not for you. You know yourself better than anyone. You will know. You will know what you're receptive to and what you're not, and what will allow you to fully ground and gain momentum in assertively pursuing routine in your life. This could be a job as well. Sometimes jobs will be attached to, movement, to moving to a new city, a new town, a new home. Assertively, you're not quite sure at this point how much energy you have to contribute to this. You are so tired. Yeah, you're definitely, it's almost like energetic wise with this transformation, you're not really feeling energetically familiar to yourself because everything is upgrading. What was once familiar is not. That's part of why the routine is so important, because you'll be able to notice these changes more because of the energy change within you, not because of something in your environment that you could attach it to as the why you feel the change. It's important that you be able to make that distinction so you can feel like you know what's going on inside of you. Which I don't know about you guys, but that's a pretty important thing for just about anybody, to be able to feel like they know themselves. So what do you guys need to know about the receptive energies here with these routines? What is being emphasized for you to be a little more aware of, a little more focused on? Okay, that you manifested this state, that this is, however uncomfortable and maybe a little uncertain at times, this is something that you manifested, this change, this alchemization, and to know that you have a hand in directing it. The more routine that you have in your life, the more structure, the more consistency in that, the more you will be aware of how much you can influence this adjustment and transformation. Freeing yourself, consistently choosing to reach out to divine in these moments where you have that negative seed come through, or that negative thought, and just choosing in that moment to release it to the divine, to not own it, to not react to it, to stay in your peace, to know that you're transmuting the karmic energy. Because if you don't have the routine in place, it will be harder for you to know if it's because of something in your environment, or if it's a manipulation or a negative seed planted in you that you're transmuting as you alchemize and transform your energy body. It helps you discern, really. Helps you discern between what's currently happening to you versus what was left for you to stumble upon at this point. So you understand the difference. Either way, you're going to be releasing this. Because if you don't, you'll be trapped in it. You'll be owned by it. And everything that you've gone through, that you've fought for, which I'm definitely reading into some very strong spiritual warriors here. This is something that you don't need to worry about. You are definitely strong enough to see it for what it is and release it. But this is the dynamic present and what you'll be encountering. So know that going into it. The routine will allow you to be familiar to yourself. It'll be your constant while other things are adjusting, allowing you to discern what is what and where is where as you process and release. Oh, okay. Got quite a bit there. All right. So, for the element of water, what you feel, what's intuitive, what is your emotion, what is your connection to others, what is the love present that you see, the empathy, the mirroring of what you're experiencing in others around you, giving back to you. What's internal is manifested externally and mirrored back. This will be something that will also be experienced in your dream state. And it'll be integrating what you know of the self, what you have learned of yourself throughout this process, as well as what you're learning as you establish these routines and these rituals and you release karmic energy and you elevate by choice your energy. This will allow you to experience pleasure in the little things around you, as well as to enjoy your reality, your experience of both 5D, 3D, your physical form, as these routines will more than likely, you're going to be nurturing your physical form, be it exercise, better diet, better sleep cycle. You will be glowing up, if you will. You'll be empowering yourself, healing yourself. And in these states, you will find appreciation in little things that you haven't allowed yourself to enjoy because you have been on this very focused, manifest path. It's time to allow yourself to enjoy the fruits of that, in other words. In both the dream state as well as the waking state. You have the abundance coming in. You have the Ten of Cups coming in this state. In this energetic position, everything that's on this table right now is calling in the Ten of Pentacles, the Ten of Cups, and your healing. Your healing is what's calling it in. Your willingness to heal is calling it in. Because anything else than this outcome, than this energetic state, was unacceptable to you. And thus was unacceptable to divine and what you're manifesting as well, what you're co-creating. Anything other than this outcome was unacceptable. And the receptive aspects to the water position here. Okay. You're passing judgment on aspects of you, the situation that you've either, just releasing, maybe out of love. Knowing that all of this has been part of the process of elevation, of growth, to let those parts of you go so they can be transformed, healed, be at peace, that even though things may still seem a bit not quite as they seem, they appear one way, but you know them to be another. They're coming into a state where you're going to see them for what they are. And that doesn't necessarily mean that in the 3D they're going to look different. in the 5D that they're going to appear different. You'll have a better understanding of why they appear that way, why they move that way. It's what's behind why they appear to be something other than what you know them to be. That will be and you're open to understanding this, and you will receive this information as you move through this state. And you keep that routine, and you know that you have that peace, and you can pass that on, and you know you're in a state of transition. So some things are going to appear one way outside of you, but you know they're in transition too. So you're not going to pass judgment on them yet. And you know that at some point you will have that answer, and you'll be able to own your conclusion. And it'll be exactly what you have longed for, which was the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups, to not have to choose between one or the other, but to have both. While you heal is how you pull this in, to focus on you, to heal you, to be fully present, to enjoy the little things around you, is how you fully pull this in to your reality. For the oracle messages, just to kind of tie it all together, add a little advice, a little insight from Source, the divine, your ancestors, your guides. I have 4 cards and a crossing card, please. Or 3 cards and a crossing card. Okay, the Star's invitation came up again. And definitely confirmation that this has likely been something that you have been calling in since you were first consciously aware that you wanted something other than what you were experiencing. That you have the key to discovering that this manifestation is very muchly in your reality right now, and it's developing, and you can participate in that development now. Stars, yet again. You may identify as like an earth angel. As well. Maybe part of why your manifestation is so strong and from such a young age. There is a meeting of body and soul. So there is an awakening present, soul presence, abilities present within the body, as well as, you know, the body aware of soul, or 3D, 5D melding. There's a new beginning here, and there are light codes present. Crown chakra upgrade. To pair with this, you having the key really to just open your awareness that this manifestation is unfolding now. Know that when you do this, when you open to this, to let things be as they are, knowing that they're also in a state of transition. So to get stuck in the it is what it is not necessarily ideal. It's an invitation to focus on it's in transition. It's changing. It's alchemizing. Focus on what is familiar within it. And you'll feed that. Focus on the positive. Focus on what feels good, and you'll call more of that in. Don't focus on what's negative, or you'll call more of that in. The basic manifestation stuff. So if you want to begin to participate at this point, you can. With the emphasis of focusing on the positive so it can multiply, really. It can become more and more abundant. Thank you very much for co-creating this reading with me. I'm very grateful that you stayed through this whole reading, and that hopefully you found some synchronicities, some God incidences to affirm your own intuition. Namaste.